Hello everyone, so I'm starting this content for the sake of discovering new philosophies, new ideologies, new roads, and um, my intention is just to discuss some ideas with you so you can maybe have an idea about some ideologies and then you can discover it by yourself. And this content can be amateur at the debut, but yeah, day after day, maybe I'll progress, maybe not, but maybe yes. And everything is a probability, so I'll try my chance to be a yes, not a no. And so today, I'm just talking generally. At the page 250, I suppose, in the Gay Science of Nietzsche, a very explosive book. Yeah, I urge you to read it. It's very interesting, very confusing, very hard, very implicit, and you can't find the signification of every line, every paragraph. You have nothing to do. You just have to take your faith maybe and then go on with Nietzsche, because he will take you there. At the end of the book you'll be able to have a global idea of Nietzsche. Then you can reread it if you want, because Gay Science is not a poetic book, is not a narrative book, is like built in aphorism, so you can read any aphorism apart, so you can jump right to the middle, right to the part that interests you, and read it as you wish. So the part I'm in is not quite plausible. Nietzsche, in his third book in Gay Science, he's talking about Germans, history, Christianity. Yeah, this is somehow complicated. It involves a lot of background on history, on the religion of Christians. So I have not, but I'm reading it for the sake of fun and just to sharpen my mind, maybe just to train my mind on flexibility and reading some hard things. But it might interest me at some point, and then I will certainly go and read another book about history or Christianity or German history, because Germany was the source of the idealism, and so they call it German idealism. It started, I don't know, I think it started with Arthur Schopenhauer, who started that idealism, and then Nietzsche, and then a lot of them who have this ideology, this kind of idealism that human must engage with in life. And so I've done some researches, not the sake for classification or categorization, but I found out that Nietzsche is maybe a moral anti-realist, and I'll explain that right now. A moral anti-realist, it's someone who does not qualify morals as truth. And Nietzsche claims that morals are not examined but by booleans such as true or false. They express the interpretation of the acts by human, presenting their will and their inner grow images of acts. Yeah, and he like others, maybe there is some philosophers who engage with such ideology, but however he just describes a moral act. It's not even a statement to say a moral act. So for him, a question like, is it good or bad, has not a single meaning, because he does not qualify morals as good or bad or evil or beneficial. And so he qualifies morals as something that varies with humans, because he thinks that values changes from time to time, from place to place, and then for that reason you can't fix a certain morals for a certain time, for a certain place, because it's impossible to surrender all people by one type of morals. And so he doesn't think that morals are truth, but he does think that morals are just how human interprets an act and how it's forming an image to his mind and how he sees it. That's maybe a controversial idea, because you can say that, yeah, if we don't have an objective moral, then a lot of people will create their own, and then we will have a lot of conflicts, a lot of wars in our society, and a lot of chaos. But this is, yeah, Nietzsche, this is something that he does not explain as much as we wait from him, but he does not say that prosperity is a good thing in life. And if this was creating wars and chaos, then something bad that stop it is not a solution. So you can just create an objective moral just to remain calm and prosper. It is not a solution for Nietzsche. He prefers dynamic life with such chaos, but just being free from these objective morals that sometimes are just put by a high position political party or some religion, like Christianity, for example. In his time, there was a political dominance, a religious dominance, and so people can't challenge the objective morals they have put, and so they are forced to follow them. And this is tragic, because a human does not think anymore, and so he obeys even if it's not suiting him, it's not fitting him. And this is not something Nietzsche wanted to see in this world, because he believes that a human must do what he wants to do, and he does not mean by that chaos or wars or bad intentions. But he does not see the intentions. He just claims that any person would be in his perfect state when he is applying his own morals, in his own rules, and of course he has to assume them. And so this is what he calls Übermensch, Surhomme, or like Spider-Man, for example. Yeah, Übermensch is the perfect word in Germany, as he says. So Übermensch for him is some kind of human who passed that kind of obedience and stupid rules put by a religion or a political party or something like that. And so that Übermensch creates his own morals, his own meaning of life, and so he does not need anyone to learn from him, anyone to force him to do something, and so he lives on his own. And this is quite interesting. Like, we can observe it in the Thus Spoke Zarathustra. I think that the book does not start very well, because it puts you in the end of the best journey of Zarathustra, because it puts you in the end of his research and then the story begins with Zarathustra talking with stars, if I remember. Yeah, talking with stars, and then telling him how you enlighten me and how you go, and then come back. And so he has these controversial questions, and he passed over than 10 years alone just researching, just creating his own meaning of life, his science. And so when 10 years passed, he was kinda sad to hide all what he discovers and leave it for his own. So he decided to go down from the mountain and share his science. And this what represents the gay science, the joy science, that he is joyful to share his science, to share his meaning of life. This is also in correlation with Amor Fati. He believes in life, and even if Nietzsche does not find any meaning of life, but he still insists on creating your own meaning of life. This is quite interesting. I keep saying but I'm out of words because I can't describe Nietzsche more than that. Because Nietzsche is someone who is subtle. Yeah, he can describe an idea as amazing and then go off 4 lines and describe it as the worst idea in the world. And so reading Nietzsche is not easy. Reading Nietzsche is not difficult. Reading Nietzsche is, I don't count it as reading. I count it as a philosophical challenge. It's like Nietzsche dares you to think. He gives you his ideas and dares you to challenge them with other ideas. Nietzsche wasn't the person who's following a system or a systematic process that he applies it to every situation in his life. Thus, he was also not that person who was following some ideology or some philosophy that you can type what is the school of Nietzsche, and then you see his name of school, like we can see in Descartes, for example. You can search his school and you'll find rationalism, or I don't know, Schopenhauer maybe, you'll find nihilism. There's a lot of names I can't remember, but yeah, every philosopher, not everyone, but except rare ones, you'll find a school that they are either following or founding. And so this is not the case for Nietzsche. Nietzsche is just throwing his ideas. You can name it as a poet grabbing a hammer and destructing everything. And so when Nietzsche writes, he does not write for the sake of destruction. He writes for the sake of writing. So he wasn't taking writing as something that will make him popular or famous or philosopher, but he was just writing in his worst conditions, just to express his ideas, to express his gratitude for being in life. And even if he was suffering from blood, vomit, headaches, he was half blind, but he was still writing, and he produced masterpieces that spoke Zarathustra. I urge you to read this because it's something amazing, and I urge you to read Gay Science before it, because Gay Science is like the theory of that spoke Zarathustra, and therefore when you read Zarathustra, you really know what Nietzsche means in Gay Science. And so Gay Science like gives you the ideas of Nietzsche, his perspective over millions of things. Gay Science is full of perceptions of Nietzsche. He does talk about anything: poetry, music, Germans, Christianity, Islam, folks, power, politics, God, religion, any subject, logic, knowledge. It's very diverse. And when you read Zarathustra, you see that this person, this person who came from nowhere, and he created his own religion, his own meaning of life, his own science, is enjoying his science. And he is enjoying his meaning of life, and he's applying what Nietzsche describes in the K science. So I urge you to read it, read them both, and then when you finish, go to read others of Nietzsche, but these two are the most influential books of Nietzsche, and therefore you can't say anything about Nietzsche without reading it. And even if you read those books, you can't say anything about Nietzsche. So Nietzsche stays as someone who's magic, who's obscure, and so you cannot discover what Nietzsche really is. You just have to enjoy his writings. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and ta-ra.